Congratulations on making through a very sharp presentation with this scary timekeeping. So well done, Wroclaw. And Piotr and your team. My question is about ownership. So early on, you made a reference to employee ownership coming to an end of lock-in. So I'm interested in the size and concentration of employee ownership and how that might change. And I'm just interested in the appetite of different local institutional and global institutional investors in this company.
Currently, 39% shares is held by the open pension funds, which are the main shareholders of the company. Remaining 61% is held by the private investors, and currently we don't see any other significant investors who possess more than 5% of the company.
Thank you for your presentation. I have a question on the dividend policy. You forecast that after paying no dividend in 2012, the company is going to pay a fairly significant dividend and continue to grow it. How does that balance against investing in the company for growth?
Well, actually, 2012 is the last year of such significant capital expenditures, which equal around 700 million Polish zloty, which is almost exactly the same as it was in the previous year. And that's why we don't estimate any dividends this year. If, however, the shareholders decide to pay the dividend, we don't see any huge influence on our valuation because the company might easily release the tax provisions. And as for the second part of the question, we've forecasted those dividends based on the cash ratios that the company would like to have, meaning the cash and the liquid assets in the company are sufficient for the growth and as well for the dividends for the shareholders.
You made a case for the company being very dramatically more efficient than competitors. Could you explain why they're able to be so much more efficient? Is it historical accident? Is it some excellent strategic decision that they took?
Well, as far as efficiency is concerned, it is not just one event. This competitive advantage has some reasons. First of all, Bogdanka has really good mining conditions, meaning that the coal layers are very, very easily extracted. That's the first thing. Second, the management is very oriented on the growth of the company and invested in cutting-edge technology. It's a PLAF complex. It's one of the best mining technologies. And third, it's just a prudent cost management and low labor union risk, meaning that all the costs are kept on a stable and predictable level. Therefore, we believe that this efficiency is sustainable in the long run, and it's not just a historical event that happened some time ago.
Looking at your Monte Carlo analysis, it is remarkable how narrow the price distribution is. And I'm thinking that this is a growth stock, and growth may disappoint, but if I look at the dispersion of your Monte Carlo, it seems that I don't have too much to worry about. What kind of assumptions have you made? Are you sure you have not been too optimistic?
Well, those assumptions were made on the basis of the historical events in the company, and we've assumed such a distributions that guaranteed that the guarantee is not the best word, I guess, but those distributions assume that the extraction volume, which is one of the most influential factors, might decrease very significantly. And as for the coal price, which is also the significant factor, we also assume that the price of coal will actually decrease. So yes, the distribution is narrow. However, the assumptions were very strict.
You got through a presentation on a coal company without talking about environmental factors, and obviously to many investors in the world there is a clean coal end of the industry and a dirty coal end of the industry. So where would Bogdanka sort of lie in terms of the quality of the environmental practice?
Bogdanka environmental actions are quite impressive. First of all, it keeps, of course, reserves for any mining damages, but also it helps the local national parks, because the area where Bogdanka operates is surrounded by national parks, and it helps to preserve it. And as a proof of that, Bogdanka is included in Polish Respect Index. It's the index which incorporates the companies which put a great emphasis on ecological actions and also corporate governance and so on. Therefore, we see that Bogdanka's ecological actions are really fine.
In your risk section, you didn't mention competition. Are there significant barriers to entry for new entrants into the coal market in Poland?
Yes, there are significant barriers to entry. First of all, because of extremely high costs of building new mine, but also there is some political issues, like each mine has to be licensed by the government, and to get this license it takes a very long time. And as my colleague mentioned, there are two coal basins in Poland. First one is really exploited. It has been exploited for about 200 years. Therefore, entering that market is just hard. And as for Bogdanka, it is the only coal mine, but the management has recently made a decision to incorporate additional fields to even increase those barriers to enter.
I'm struggling a bit to understand, if this company is so attractive, why the rest of the market doesn't recognise that. Could you comment a bit about the fact that you're so much more optimistic than the current view seems to be?
Well, Bogdanka is the only coal mine in Poland or even in Europe that focuses only on thermal coal, which is really defensive. It is the most defensive stock in our country, and in these times, there are many fluctuations on the market, and other companies produce coking coal, and as you know, coking coal is to produce steel, and steel is strictly correlated with gross domestic product, and while other companies are coking coal producers.
You mentioned that this company has cutting-edge technology. How sustainable is their lead in technology? How does it compare to peers?
Cutting-edge technology is focused on cutting really tight set of coal, and in other mines this technology is absent. It's the most technology advanced coal mine. As my colleague said, there were 2 records during 2 months regarding extraction volume from the one panel wall.
question is, how sustainable is it?
Time is up. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.